Wednesday. Today is a good day, right? Besides me being extremely tired, I feel like I've got bags under my eyes. Like I feel like they're puffy or something. They just don't look right. Um, but anyway, I wanted to get on here for a few things, okay? First, I need some recipes. I get on Pinterest and stuff, and it's great to see these recipes, but I want to hear what is good and what's not. So if you've tried something that you love and you feel like you should share it with me, I think you should. So I'm running out of ideas, and I am a big crock pot goer because we are so busy. I don't always do crock pot, so it doesn't have to necessarily be crock pot, but I like my crock pot like I like my hats. But anyway, yeah, so any ideas? And also breakfast ideas, because my kids I watch in the mornings, I feed them breakfast, and I am running out of ideas because they don't like eggs. Nobody likes eggs. I don't understand. So it's really hard. I'm limited. So I do French toast and pancakes, and I do sausage and toast, and I do cinnamon toast, which that was a shocker to them. And then nobody knows what cinnamon toast is anymore. I grew up on cinnamon toast. Love it. Butter, cinnamon, sugar. Bam. Breakfast of champions. What else do I? Yogurt and fruit. But I'm running out of ideas. So any breakfast ideas that don't include eggs. Like you can cook with eggs like French toast. You know, I beat up eggs and make French toast, but actual eggs like a quiche or something, no, they won't do it. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Also, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, I had a conversation with my granny today. So, big thing about discipline. In fact, it's funny that we were talking about discipline because Tim and I had a good discipline moment last night. My grandma was talking about how she would not want to raise kids in today's world because everything's considered abuse and all that stuff, what was okay back then, you know. And, you know, she's probably right in some ways because kids back then were taught to respect, and they weren't entitled, and, you know, they weren't spoiled and all that stuff. Nowadays it's hard. It's really hard to find good kids that understand morals and respect and, yeah, a little old school, you know. And I feel like I am a little mixture, you know. I am more old school than new school, that's for sure. But I still have a little, you know, as I'm speaking, my son's texting me. Can guarantee you he's asking me for a coffee. Why he feels like I would bring him a coffee during school is beyond me. That does not sound like a very disciplined child. That sounds like a spoiled child. Correct? Correct. So, there, I have failed. But anyway, so I do feel like I have fairly decent kids. They're pretty good kids, even ones that text me for coffee in the middle of the day when they should be doing schoolwork, but whatever. Everyone does compliment my kids, and they say it's really nice to see good kids, and they do stand out a little bit. And it's because I am a little bit strict with my kids. Not so strict that I'm not a fun mom too, but yeah, I just want to make sure my kids understand that they are kids, and they need to act like kids, and they need to play like kids. They don't need to act like adults and talk like adults and behave like adults, right? And I am boss, and they are not. That's main thing around here, you know. What I say goes, not what you say. You don't have a right to tell me how to do things, okay? I've earned my right. I'm an adult now, and I'm raising 4 kids. So, when you're an adult, you can boss your kids around when you have kids, or your dog, or whatever. I don't really care. But right now, I am the boss, and that is how my house is ran. Okay? Tim and I are in charge. They don't get to say. The final say comes out of my mouth or Tim's mouth. Mostly my mouth. But, yes. So, a little story about discipline last night in the Roinstead home. Unfortunately, it's about Allie again. I don't know why. I think it's just this is the deal with Allie. Allie is a typical teenager. She is hard. She's a girl for one. She's the only girl out of the out of the four kids. And, Trenton was not an average teenager. He has not had an attitude. He does, I don't know, I think probably because I was so hard on him. Probably. Poor kid. He's afraid of me. He's deathly afraid of me. And so he does not want to disappoint. He's just got that personality. He doesn't want to disappoint. Allie, care less. She's like, bring it, but she has a fabulous personality. She's super funny, really, really funny. I mean, she cracks me up all the time. And Allison is very independent, and so that comes across a little bit bratty sometimes, but I also respect it too, because I like her to be her own person, and I like that she doesn't feel like she needs to fit in and like jump into these cliques in school and stuff. She stays true to who she is, and she finds her people, that she clicks with. So she doesn't care if she's popular. She doesn't care anything, right? So I love that about Allie, and she is super, super mother henish, like crazy. She's really good with kids, and she is very protective of her brothers. So anyway, some great things about Allie before I get into the story about her, because I feel like all I do is complain about her lately, and unfortunately she just has been our challenge one right now. So anyway, yesterday I picked her up from volleyball, and she just chooses what day she decides to be in a good mood or not. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's not. Unfortunately, yesterday she had an attitude. Like, it was crazy. I knew as soon as she was walking to the car, just by the way she was walking, I knew my evening was going to be shot, and that me and her were not going to get along. Could just feel it in my bones. So she gets to the car, and, she at first kind of started out okay, because normally school is always boring, right? So I said, how was school? And she was like, it was good. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I was off. Maybe my mom sense was completely off. Well, then she starts, I'm starving. I didn't eat anything. Well, I'm sorry. That's your own fault. Because let me just be honest, I was lazy yesterday, and I didn't want to make lunch. So they had to have a hot lunch. Well, she chooses not to eat hot lunch. Well, that's on her, not me. It's food. If you're that starving, you'll eat it. So, anyway. So I tell her, I was like, you can have a snack when we get home, but something small. Why? And I was like, because I have dinner cooking. And so then it's battle, right? So then it just changes her mood. She's grouchy. She's complains about everything. Well, anyway, so I deal with her all evening. Then Tim gets home. She's in her room doing her homework. Tim gets home and he says, hey, Mr. Hernandez was telling me that Allie is like the top of his class and doing really well and da-da-da. So I was super proud of her, right? Well, we had this conversation in one of my other videos. This is how I'm struggling on whether to say anything to her positive, because then she just does the opposite. But I thought, I've been hard on her this evening. I think I'm going to give her something positive to go on. So I go into her room and I say, hey, Dad just got home and told me Mr. Hernandez said that you're doing really well in Spanish. She's like, shh, shoos me out. And I was like, what? She did not just do that. Instantly raged me, right? Because I thought, what a brat. Well, instead of like screaming at her, I just slammed her door because I was so mad, right? Then Tim goes, what happened? What's going on? And I said, your daughter just shushed me and told me to get out of her room. Like, I'm standing in shock. Like, I can't even believe I just allowed that to happen in my home that I pay for, right? And I'm like, and he's like, hey, go get a chair. It's like, we can't beat her with a chair. What the heck, Like, great idea, but it's not happening. He's like, no, go get a chair. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like, what is going on? He has lost his mind. Why do I need a chair? Are we going to pin it up against the doorknob so she can't get out? I don't know. I don't get what's going on here. So he grabs a chair, I grab a chair, and I'm following him. And we go into to Allie's room. He plops the chair in front of her bed and sits in it. And so I do the same, and I'm like, are we singing Kumbaya? What's going on? I'm so lost. Like, he doesn't explain anything, doesn't anything. He just tells me to grab a chair. So I do it. I listen, I'm an obedient wife, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Once in my life, I decide to be an obedient wife. And I bring a chair, okay? I bring a chair, and he just starts staring at her. He crosses his legs and folds his arms and is just staring at her. I'm like, what is going on? Like, a little history on me. I don't do well in silent situations. It makes me giggle. I can't do it. It makes me giggle. I don't know what it is. I am the worst. When you have to be serious, I can't be serious. It makes me giggle. Just like if someone falls in front of me, I feel really bad for the person that falls, but you wouldn't know it because I'm too busy laughing and giggling. It's a nervous thing. I don't know. So I'm trying, because I know he's doing something, like discipline-wise, because he was mad at her for acting like that towards me. So I know he's doing this for me. So I'm like, nut up, Misty. Nut up. Do not laugh. Do not smile. Don't anything. So I'm trying. Thank goodness I had a blanket with me because it's cold in my house. And so I'm like this. And I am trying my hardest. But all of a sudden you see my shoulders shake. And she knows I'm giggling. So then she starts to giggle. And then I have to pull and do the mom look to show her I'm serious, right? So then I just start doing this and like acting like I'm itching my face and stuff, like, because I'm trying not to lose my mind. He does this for like 10 minutes and I'm like, oh. So then I start to kind of crack at him, like, what is going on? Like, are you going to say anything? Like, what are we doing? And so she's just like trying to do her homework and stare, and she's like, what's going on? And stare and like this, back and forth with her eyes, with her homework and us. He finally says in a calm but very stern voice, just out of the blue, you will never shush us or wave us out of your room. This is our room. You are borrowing it. Next time, the door is gone. Picks up the chair and walks out. And I look at her and said, yeah, what he said. And I pick my chair up and walk out because I didn't know what was going on. But he wanted to make her uncomfortable and scare her a little bit, and it did. It worked. It even scared me. I didn't know what he was going to do. So, anyway, he showed her. He showed her who was boss, and it wasn't me. It was him that time. He succeeded in that discipline moment. I did not. I slammed the door. So, anyways, discipline, kids, is tough, but you got to figure out something to reach your kids, something to let them know you're in control. And it's okay that they don't like you. They're always going to love you no matter what. You're their parent, They're going to need food and water, and, you're the best way for them to get that. So, and clothing, and, their cell phone bills paid, and, all that stuff. So, I just believe in showing them who's boss, scaring them. I don't even care. I'm all right with that. I'm glad my kids are a little scared of me, It's like God, okay? Let's take God, for instance. I fear God. I know he loves me, but I'm still scared. Like, I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to fail him. I don't want to not go to heaven, right? So I fear God. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because then it makes me want to do good, because I don't want to disappoint, right? It's the same thing in parenting. I want my kids to fear me, but also know that I love them, I take care of them. I try to do the best I can for them, I love them unconditionally no matter what they do. So, yeah, that's my big thing about discipline, and that was my little discipline story of last night, of how we handle things with Allie and my husband losing his mind with the chair. I'm kidding. It was fine. It was actually perfect, and she was totally fine the rest of the evening. Complete fine. So, yeah, you just find what makes it work at your house, and I'm really glad that Tim and I parent really well together. When he sucks, I'm good, and when I suck, he's good. So it's great teamwork. Anyway, so yeah, that was fun. Yeah. So if you guys ever want any parenting tips from the Roinsteds, we're killing it. with this parenting thing, obviously. Tim is so good at parenting, he scared me. That's how good he is. So, anyway. All right, well, that was a little talk here for today. I am going to make some dinner. Did I already say what I was making for dinner? If I didn't say, I think I'm going to make beef and broccoli in the crock pot, like a Korean beef and broccoli with rice. I think I said that already. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, it's a volleyball day, so get to go watch Ellie play some volleyball. It'll be fun. All right. Well, you guys have a great, happy Wednesday, and I'm sure I'll speak with y'all later. Bye.